Hello, I'm Nikki Newman. This is my official YouTube channel. Please subscribe and support us.
The Young and the Restless spoilers. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel on this beautiful day as we dive into some of the most intense and stressful drama we have seen in a long time. We have a massive amount of information to unpack today regarding the Newman family, so grab a coffee and let's just get straight into this absolute mess. And I just cannot even believe what I am reading right now because the latest spoilers for The Young and the Restless are showing us a side of Nick Newman that is completely terrifying. Because Nick is literally sinking deeper and deeper into a horrible spiral of drug addiction. And this is not just some minor issue that he can sleep off. He is completely hooked on illegal substances. And we are talking about heavy, dangerous stuff like fentanyl. So it is just shocking to see Nick, who is usually the rock of the family and the guy everyone relies on in such a dark and desperate place, but that is exactly where he is right now. And it is just so hard to watch him lose control like this. But what makes this whole situation even worse is how he is getting these drugs. Because he is not just stumbling out onto the streets of Las Vegas to find a dealer. No, the drugs are apparently being supplied to him directly through Matt Clark's goons. And if that wasn't bad enough, Reza Thompson is involved too. So it is a complete setup. Matt Clark is literally orchestrating Nick's downfall from the shadows, and Reza is right there helping to facilitate it. And Nick has absolutely no idea that the very people he is trying to hunt down are the ones feeding his addiction and keeping him weak. And you just have to think about how incredibly evil Matt Clark's plan really is, because he knows he cannot just walk up and take Nick out easily. So he is destroying him from the inside. He is using Nick's pain and exhaustion against him. And by using his goons to funnel these illegal substances to Nick, Matt is making sure that Nick is completely defenseless when the time finally comes to strike. So Nick is just sitting there in his hotel room taking these drugs, thinking he is just coping with the stress while Matt Clark is tightening the noose around his neck. So then we have to look at Adam Newman in all of this, because Adam is right there in Las Vegas with Nick. And Adam genuinely believes that he is in control of everything. He has this massive ego and he thinks he is running the show, but he is so distracted. He is busy kissing Reza and flirting with her and letting her pull him back into his old dark spider persona. And because he's so focused on himself and his own twisted games with Reza, he is completely missing the massive red flags right in front of him. But Adam is not completely blind, because he has started to notice that his brother is acting really weird. He can see that Nick is behaving erratically, and it is actually starting to worry him. But instead of stopping everything and figuring out what is actually wrong with Nick, Adam just keeps brushing it off. He thinks he can handle whatever is happening. He thinks he can juggle his weird romance with Reza, the hunt for Matt Clark, and his brother's strange moods all at the same time. And that arrogance is going to cost them dearly. Because Adam does not realize that the erratic behavior is because Nick is high on fentanyl supplied by the very woman Adam is kissing. And it is just so frustrating to watch Adam act so clueless, because he is usually so sharp. But Sin City has a way of messing with his head, and Reza knows exactly how to distract him. So while Adam is busy thinking he is the smartest guy in the room, his brother is literally nodding off on the couch from a drug-induced haze. And Adam is just letting it happen because he is too wrapped up in his own false sense of control to see the danger lurking right in their own circle. Meanwhile, back in Genoa City, Wisconsin, things are just incredibly tense because Sharon Newman and Chelsea Lawson are sitting there miles and miles away, and they are just worried sick. They are completely separated from all the illegal and dangerous activities happening in Sin City. And that distance is just making their anxiety so much worse, because they cannot just drive over and check on the guys. They are stuck in the Midwest waiting for the phone to ring and imagining the absolute worst. And when the phone finally does ring, it is just a disaster, because Nick calls them and he is trying to sound normal, but the drugs hit him hard. And he starts slurring his words, and he gets super confused. And then he literally just falls asleep while he is on the phone with them. And you can just imagine the sheer panic that hits Sharon and Chelsea when the line goes quiet, because they are sitting there in Crimson Lights or wherever, and they just hear Nick breathing heavily or not responding at all. And it is terrifying. So Sharon is trying to keep it together, because Sharon always tries to be the strong one. But she is dealing with her own massive trauma right now. She just survived being kidnapped and held hostage by Martin Laurent in an abandoned psychiatric facility. So her nerves are already completely shot. And now she has to deal with the fact that the father of her children is passing out from drugs halfway across the country. And she is just so frustrated and scared because she cannot do anything to help him. She is just totally helpless. And Chelsea is absolutely losing her mind, because Chelsea knows exactly what Las Vegas does to Adam. She knows all about the spider persona. She knows about the gambling and the danger and the dark underground world that Adam used to run in. And she is terrified that Adam is going to revert back to that monster. And she is right to be worried, even though she doesn't even know the half of it yet. She doesn't know that Adam is already kissing Riza and betraying her. She just knows that Vegas is toxic for him. And hearing Nick sound so messed up on the phone just confirms all of her worst fears that this entire trip is a massive mistake. But this brings us to the biggest question of all. Why on earth did they go to Las Vegas, Nevada without bringing an adequate backup plan? Because it makes absolutely no sense. Nick wanted to go freelance. He wanted to do this off the books and handle Matt Clark on his own terms. But Adam did not allow that. Adam insisted on being involved. And yet they still went out there practically alone. And the fact that Victor Newman allowed his sons to pursue a dangerous maniac like Matt Clark in Las Vegas without a massive security detail is highly, highly suspicious. Because we all know Victor Newman. The mustache does not just let his boys walk into a death trap. He is a control freak. He has security teams for his security teams. He tracks everyone's movements. So for him to just wave goodbye and let Nick and Adam fly to Nevada to face off against a known killer without any visible protection is just bizarre. It goes against everything we know about Victor's character. And it really makes you wonder what is actually going on behind the scenes. And you have to think that maybe, just maybe, the mustache has a secret security team tailing Nick and Adam, because that would make sense. He probably has a squad of highly trained guys in plain clothes watching their every move from across the casino floor. And they might even be keeping an eye on Matt Clark too, because Victor always plays chess while everyone else is playing checkers. So it is very possible that Victor knows exactly what is happening, and he is just waiting for the right moment to spring his trap on Matt. But what if that isn't true? What if Victor really did just let them go on their own? Because if there is no secret security detail, then the Newman brothers are entirely on their own, and they are completely exposed. They will have to fend for themselves and face the imminent danger that is literally right outside their door. And that is a terrifying thought, because Nick is in no condition to fight anyone right now. He can barely keep his eyes open. And Adam is too distracted by Rizad to see an ambush coming. So if Victor doesn't have a backup plan, Nick and Adam are sitting ducks. And it is totally logical that Nick would want to pursue this ultimate goal with Matt Clark, regardless of where it happens, because Matt has tormented him for so long. The history there is so dark and full of hatred. So Nick wanting to end this once and for all makes perfect sense, and Adam supporting his brother is also acceptable, because Adam has really been trying to integrate back into the family over the last year or so. He wants to prove that he is a good brother. So their motivations for going on this mission are solid. But seeing them operate as a duo from so far away, completely isolated from their home turf, is just really hard to understand, because Genoa City is where they have power. Genoa City is where they have resources and police connections and family support. But in Las Vegas, they have nothing. They are playing an away game in a city that Matt Clark and Reza Thompson know like the back of their hands. And they are playing by street rules, which Nick is definitely not equipped for right now. And you just have to look at the contrast between the two brothers right now, because Nick is usually the stable one. He is the guy who runs a coffee shop and gives out folksy advice and tries to keep the peace. But now he is a sweaty, confused mess, addicted to illegal substances and falling asleep on couches. And Adam, who is usually the wild card, is trying to play the responsible brother, but he is failing miserably because his own toxic traits are getting in the way. He cannot resist the pull of the Vegas underworld. He cannot resist Riza, and his arrogance is blinding him to the fact that his brother is dying right in front of him. So the tension is just building and building. Matt Clark is out there somewhere in the neon lights of Las Vegas smiling to himself because his plan is working perfectly. His goons are doing their job. They are keeping Nick supplied and weak. Riza is doing her job. She is keeping Adam distracted and occupied, and the trap is fully set. All Matt has to do now is wait for the right moment to kick the door in and finish what he started years ago. And back home, Sharon and Chelsea are just losing their minds with worry because they know something is horribly wrong. That phone call was the ultimate red flag. You don't just fall asleep in the middle of a sentence unless something is seriously wrong. And Sharon knows Nick better than anyone. She knows he wouldn't act like this unless he was in deep, deep trouble. But she is stuck. She cannot teleport to Nevada. She can only pace the floors of her house and pray that Victor has some sort of master plan that he hasn't told anyone about. But honestly, knowing Victor, even if he does have a plan, it might not be enough to save Nick this time. Because fentanyl does not care about Victor Newman's money or power. Fentanyl is a killer. And Nick is putting it into his body willingly because he is so broken and stressed. And even if Victor's security team bursts into the room and arrests Matt Clark, they still have to deal with the fact that Nick Newman is an addict. And that is a storyline that is going to have massive, long-lasting consequences for the entire family. So we're just sitting here waiting for the other shoe to drop, because it is going to drop soon. Nick cannot keep taking these drugs without something terrible happening, and Adam cannot keep ignoring the signs without facing a massive reality check. And when Adam finally realizes that the woman he has been kissing is the same woman who has been supplying his brother with deadly drugs on behalf of their worst enemy, the fallout is going to be nuclear. Adam's rage is going to be uncontrollable. But by then, it might be too late to save Nick. And I just keep going back to Victor. Why would he risk his sons like this? Is it a test? Is he trying to see if Adam is truly loyal to the family? Is he trying to force Nick to hit rock bottom so he can swoop in and be the savior? Victor's mind works in twisted ways. But playing games with your son's life when illegal drugs and a psychopathic killer are involved is a new low even for the mustache. If anything happens to Nick, Nikki is never going to forgive Victor. And Sharon will probably burn Newman Enterprises to the ground. But for now, all we can do is watch and wait. The neon lights of Sin City are blinding Adam to the truth. The drugs are pulling Nick under. Matt Clark is circling like a shark in the water. And the women back in Genoa City are left to suffer in agonizing suspense. It is a brilliant, terrifying, and completely raw storyline that shows just how quickly the mighty Newman family can fall when they step out of their comfort zone and into the darkness. And I honestly have no idea how they are going to get out of this one alive. Because the reality is Las Vegas is an unforgiving place. It chews people up and spits them out. And right now it is chewing up Nick Newman. The goons are laughing. Riza is smirking, and Adam is just completely oblivious to the nightmare unfolding right next to him. So buckle up, because the next few episodes are going to be an absolute roller coaster of emotions, and we are going to be right here to break down every single shocking moment as it happens.